I don't think the new iPad Pro 2021 is worth it. Yet. So yes, the new iPad Pro has the M1 chip. It's going to be quick, it's going to be efficient, which is everything you want. But do you need that? Take a look at everything you use your iPad for right now, or if you're looking at getting an iPad Pro, what are you planning on using it for? A big thing for me that I was very interested in and kind of hoping that we'd get was Final Cut for iPad. I edit a lot of videos and it's the thing that I use on my Mac the most. Now, if we'd have seen Final Cut on the iPad by now, I probably would have got the M1 iPad, but we didn't. A lot of people seem to think that it's still coming, and only time will tell. But until then, my 2018 iPad Pro does everything I need it to do flawlessly without any hiccups. Now, I'm not going to be ignorant to the fact that there are people out there who use LumaFusion for video editing on an iPad. There are people that need an iPad for intensive graphic design work. But that's not me, and that might not be you either. So let's take a look at what I use my iPad Pro for and see if it's something that you might be able to use it for as well. 95% of the time, I'm using my iPad Pro with the Magic Keyboard. Touchpad is perfect, has backlit keys. You can angle the screen any way you want. It supports itself, so if I'm sitting on the couch or if I'm laying in bed, I don't need to figure out some kind of solution to like jimmy rig this up so it's not falling over. It holds itself up. This thing is expensive, but it is 100% worth it, and I do not regret buying it for a second, apart from the fact that it does really kill your battery life pretty quick. It is a glorified content consumption machine. I use it for watching YouTube. I've just found this guy. He's amazing.
Lighting a scene is not simply increasing the luminance across a space indiscriminately. Bitch, we are painting with light.
I watch a lot of Netflix, and I just finished the F1 series. I haven't watched F1 in years. Drive to Survive has got me back into F1. Fantastic show, you should go watch it. You definitely don't need something like this to watch that content, but you're doing it anyway. Now, I do actually use this quite a bit for taking thumbnails. I connect it to my camera, get the settings right, I set a 5-second timer, snap it, it's on the camera, but there's also a copy on the iPad if you want to quickly edit the thumbnail that way. Side note, I really do hate the experience using the Sony remote app with my phone. It always disconnects, it's just buggy. With an iPad, it seems to be this iPad at least, it seems to be a very different experience. The other day, I left this connected as I was editing the thumbnails. It must have been on for 2 hours, just connected to the camera. I had no idea. Went to use it again, and it still had the live image on there. So, case in point. But I use this a lot for taking thumbnails. Hey, hi, Editor Chris here. So, apparently a lot of you don't subscribe to this channel. You watch it consistently every week, but you don't subscribe. So, if you get value out of this, you like it, maybe try hitting subscribe down below and click that bell too, because then you get sent the videos YouTube doesn't like to send the videos, and then you can comment, and I always respond to the first few comments before it just gets mad down there. So maybe try it or not. It's not a commitment. You're not signing a 2-year agreement. You can always unsubscribe. Let's get back to the video. Thanks. One of the few times I actually take this off of the keyboard is when I'm going through a shot list. So I'll often write down a list of shots that I need to get for B-roll for videos like this, and then I'll just work through those as I'm setting off the shot and just leave this flat on the desk. I don't know why I take it off the Magic Keyboard for that, but I do. And for the most part, I'm using notes for that. I occasionally edit thumbnails on the iPad. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one, but I blame Patrick Tomaso for suggesting this. Damn you! I actually use Keynote on the iPad for editing my thumbnails. I've been using it for the past 4 or 5 months, but the reason I like it is because it's the same experience on here as it is on my phone, as it is on my iMac. There's a master file stored in iCloud. If I make any changes on here, it's instantly viewable on my computer. It's convenient above anything else, and it's actually pretty powerful once you start to learn Keynote. I've actually started using the iPad for maps. I have the LTE version, so it works when I'm out and about. I found this cup holder that actually works beautifully for holding the Magic Keyboard and the iPad in one. It basically makes it like a mini computer stand in the car, but I like having the nice big screen, being able to see everything there. It's the closest I'm going to get to the screen that you have in a Tesla, while always having a truck. I could never not have a truck. If you own a truck, you'll know what I mean. I do actually use the iPad for emails. And there's a reason for this. It's because I find emails incredibly distracting, and they just kill any form of creative flow that you've got going on. So if I'm in my studio trying to work, I try to not check emails. I use my iPad with my Magic Keyboard first thing in the morning to check emails, respond to any that need to go out then, and then I don't check them again, or try to not check them again until the evening, where I'm upstairs outside my studio doing the same thing. Now, with emails comes agreements and NDAs and things that need to be filled in and signed. And this is one area I find iPad's still not great for filling in forms, unless it's been set up so that I could probably fill it in online. It's a nightmare to fill in. There are workarounds, but it's still slower than me just coming downstairs, loading up the form, filling it on my iMac, attaching it to an email and sending it away, opposed to having to fill it in with a special app, save it to files, go into my email app, upload that file, attach it. It's just a pain. So I still find iPad just not the best for dealing with forms and PDFs. I use the iPad and Magic Keyboard to script or bullet point all of my videos. Any ideas I have, they get written down in there. And I use Notes. I've been using Notes for a while now. I've tried all the other ones that everyone always recommends, and I just always come back to Notes. It just works so flawlessly between all of my different devices, between the MacBook, between the iPad, between my iPhone. It just works. And that's why I just always come back to Notes. None of the other apps just work as easy as Notes does. The other thing with Notes is most people that I chat with have iPhones as well, or iPads. So for things like our podcast that Emilio and Tasif and myself have, where we need to share out things and ideas and questions that we want to ask in the podcast, it just works really well with that. I can literally create a note, share it, and they have access. It's that simple. No one needs to create a special account or anything like that. If you have an iPhone or an iPad or an iMac, pretty much good to go. I play chess on it. Yes, I play chess. I challenged myself at the beginning of the year to learn a new hobby or a skill. As I get older, I find it really hard to learn things, so I wanted to try and learn something this year, and I've been using the iPad to play chess a lot. Really testing out the graphical power of the iPad Pro by playing 2D chess. Now, when I'm recording a podcast, I actually use my iPad as a secondary display. So this is normally my podcast view that I record a podcast in right now. I have my iMac set up right behind me, and I have my iPad right here. I can put on the view that I'm chatting with the guests. I can put on the background recording in GarageBand, I guess. I'm English.
Because I have nothing to say about this matter except to offer you some tea.
And I know I can trust things to run in the background, but being able to see everything is recording properly, it's convenient. And it's almost, in fact, there's like no lag when you're using it. So I really do like using it as a secondary display for my iMac. I'll occasionally use it to edit photos, and this is more when we could travel. Remember that? You can plug your camera directly into it, download even the RAWs through USB-C directly from the camera, and edit them in Lightroom on the go. And that's really convenient. To take this with me is a lot smaller than taking a MacBook. That will slide into any backpack, nice and easy. So really good for editing photos when you need to. And I don't need all the extra lenses on there that they keep bringing out with the iPad. I don't actually think I've ever taken a photo on this thing. I don't want to be that guy. You could remove the camera from this, and I could care less. And that's it. For all those things, my 2018 iPad Pro, which is 3 years old, still works flawlessly. So if you do anything like I do, or you plan on doing anything like I do, if you don't have an iPad yet and you're looking at buying one, don't think you need to buy the latest and greatest, because you don't. Okay? That's that, really. I've got nothing else to say. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Let's get the old net cracked. Oh, there we go. Did you hear that? I wonder if it picked that up. Okay.